Hey everyone, my name is Josh and I'm a former member of the World Mission Society Church of God. Now, I attended the church for almost 4 or 5 years, got preached to by a friend back in high school, junior year of high school, and ever since, up until 2012, I attended the church. Now, for those of you who don't know what this church believes in, they believe in two gods, God the Father and God the Mother. They believe that Christ has appeared a second time in South Korea according to the prophecies in the Bible, as well as this female image of God who dwells in the kingdom of heaven has also appeared here on earth, and she's actually in South Korea as of right now. And they also believe that without keeping the 7 feasts and 3 times a year, that we cannot go to the kingdom of heaven. And they also say that without keeping the Sabbath day, meaning attending church every Saturday throughout the whole year, then we cannot enter the kingdom of heaven as well. So, when I attended the church from the very beginning until I got out, I was very diligent, going to every feast, attending every Sabbath day, and, pretty much doing everything they told me to do. And I would spend all my time there, and I would go to the preaching meetings in the mornings. They have preaching meetings in the mornings, in the afternoons, and also in the evenings. So even throughout the week, when I wasn't even supposed to be there in a way, I would be there because I would attend morning, afternoon, and evening preaching meetings. So my whole day would consist of being at church from 10 a.m. till 11 p.m., sometimes 11:30 p.m. I would study the Bible in between preaching meetings with other members of the church and so on and so forth. About a year ago, I found out that everything that I was doing was just in vain because the church doesn't really care about the members. All they care is about the income that they're receiving from the members. And the reason I say that is because a year ago when I got out of the church, there was a lot of, tension because one of the members, called Missionary Ron, he found out information over the internet and he confronted the pastor about it. The pastor denied it, obviously, and then the missionary stopped coming, and shortly after the missionary, I am assuming, approached the pastor, he told the whole congregation not to speak to Missionary Ron, and that if we did, that we were going to go to hell because it was like eating from the from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the forbidden fruit. And that we were also told not to go to websites that were speaking bad against the church because, again, it was eating like the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And if we did so, then we were going to go to hell. So that's why a lot of members who attend the World Mission Society Church of God, they don't go to the internet or to any websites that speak against the church because they feel like they're going to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and lose their place in the kingdom of heaven. And that's really not the case. It's just really, the way that they put it, they have really brainwashed the members and, just so that they can get their way. And the reason I left the church was because, again, about a year ago, a little bit past over a year now, I found evidence that the church was just ultimately fake. I found out that this lady who they say is God the Mother, who's dwelling in South Korea, her name is Zang Jilja, and this second coming Christ, who they call God the Father, second coming of Christ, An Sang Hong, I found out that they both were previously married, and that they both had kids, and then got divorced, and then I guess in the end married each other. And when I found out that they were married and got divorced, it was a shocking evidence to me because I wanted it so hard for it not to be true. But in my mind, I was processing, saying if they actually did this, if they were previously married and got divorced and had kids, then this means they must not be God in the flesh, because obviously God would not, is against divorce, if I'm correct. The Bible says to stay faithful to your spouse, and apparently they didn't do that. So I know God, if for some reason came to the earth in the last days and got married, I'm 100% sure that he wouldn't divorce his spouse to get with someone else. So that just really didn't make any sense to me. And also when it came to other things that I found out, such as found out that the World Mission Society Church of God is actually connected to this company called Big Shine Worldwide Incorporation, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think they do computer chips and stuff like that. And this company is actually a multi-million-dollar company. So when I found out this, when I found this out, I was like, why is there a multi-million-dollar company connected to this, church that is barely progressing and establishing other churches? It just really didn't make any sense to me. And when I found out all this evidence and a lot more, it was just really confusing at the time for me, because I wanted it not to be true. But at the end, ultimately, we have to face the facts and look at what's right in front of us. And also, another thing that I found out was that there was a book written by An Sang Hong, who the World Mission Society Church of God claimed to be Second Coming Christ, in other words, God the Father in the flesh. He wrote in a book stating that there is no God the Mother. The book is entitled Problems with the New Jerusalem and Veils, I believe. And in that book, he clearly stated that there is no God the Mother, and anyone who claimed to be God the Mother was crazy, insane in the brain. So, when I read that, and it was in his own writing, I was shocked, because since day one that I attended the church, for the 4 or almost 5 years that I attended the church, I was told that An Sang Hong boldly proclaimed that there was a God the Mother and that he established God the Mother and this and that. And all of a sudden, this book comes to light, and it's his own book that he wrote that was taken away from members. I don't know when, but early in the church, when the church was barely beginning, that book was taken from the members. And in that book that was taken from the members, clearly state that An Sang Hong clearly stated that there is no God the Mother, and again, anyone who claimed to be God the Mother was crazy, and that was going to go to hell for it. And also, General Pastor, I believe it's Ju Kil Kim, he's in charge of the church now, besides this lady who is claiming to be the female image of God, God the Mother in the flesh. Now, he's in charge of, everything that's going on, and in a astonishing revelation in an article, I think it was in a court case, he mentions that I guess Jesus Christ appeared in a revelation to him, and I'm not 100% certain again what it said, but something about that Jesus Christ appeared in a revelations to him. And I'd ask myself, why is Jesus Christ appearing in a revelations to you when you have God the Mother standing right next to you, when you supposedly walked with Second Coming Christ before he passed away? An Sang Hong passed away, I believe, in 1948. I'm not 100% sure anymore, but I believe it was 1948 that he passed away. Now, there's a lot of all these evidence is coming out. There's a lot more that people don't know, actually, members and newer members that are coming into the church, they don't know these things. I didn't know these things until I had to do some research on my own. And now that all this evidence is coming out, I believe, it's been a year. It was a hard year for me. I got diagnosed with anxiety. I had to go see a doctor. I had to go see a psychiatrist, because, all these people that I believed were my family members, all turned their backs on me as soon as they found out that I knew all this information. And let me tell you, it was within 3 hours that the whole congregation knew not to speak to me anymore. The very same day that I found out everything, and I but wanted to, confide in another brother that I thought was my brother. And as soon as I told him, he went to the pastor. The pastor started calling the other brother that found out things alongside me. And, it was within 30 minutes, the pastor was already calling us. And we didn't pick up because we were freaked out at the time. And we were scared and we didn't know what to do. But it's been over a year now, and I think it's time for everyone to know really what's really going on with the World Mission Society Church of God. Again, these people don't really care about you or, who you are or what you do. But as long as you're bringing your tithing every Saturday, then that's all they really care about, because at the end, all they care is about money. And again, one of their main teachings is if you don't tithe, they're 10% or whatever, or give your free will offering, then you're going to go to hell. So, they scare members with all these things, and, they have them brainwashed. Members who are actually probably watching this video are saying, oh, we're not brainwashed. I know what we're doing, this and that. I know what I believe in. I mean, that was me over a little bit past a year ago. I was saying the same things that you did because I did not want the things that were coming out to light to be true. But now, I can clearly see and think on my own without fearing for my life. I know exactly what to do and what's going on. And I can see with my own eyes the reality, and not the reality that this church is telling you supposedly is reality, but the reality of the real world and, the real facts, and not misleading facts that these church is giving you. Again, I missed out on a lot. I got preached to in my junior year of high school. I was coming up, my senior year was coming up, and I missed out on prom. I missed out on, hanging out with my friends. I missed out on a lot of things, all because this church told me to stay away from worldly people. I lost a lot of friends because of that. And, now it's, when I got out of the church, it wasn't easy for me to make friends because, again, I was diagnosed with social anxiety that I couldn't even speak to my own family. I had to stay in my own room for 2 whole weeks, I remember, so that I can feel safe and comfortable. And even then, in my own room, I would get panic attacks. And it was just really, really bad at the time. But now I'm feeling better. And now I think it's the time for newer members and for older members to really know what's going on. I mean, I hope this video helps in some way and helps people understand really the intentions of the World Mission Society Church of God. And again, they really don't care about you, but just care about how much money you're bringing in and how much money they can get out of you before you get out of the church. I mean, because of them, I had to miss out in my grandma's funeral, who I loved really much. And because of the church told me that let the dead bury their own dead, I was not allowed to go see my grandma's or attend my grandma's funeral or open casket because of that. And, and I mean, that really sucked at the time because I remember I asked a brother, can I go to the funeral? It was a Sabbath day. And he told me, well, what did Jesus say? He said, let the dead bury their own dead. I mean, at the time, it made sense to me, and I didn't go because I wanted to keep the Sabbath day, and I wanted to go to heaven so bad. That's why I preached. I studied really hard, and I attended all the feasts, and I did what I had to do with all my heart, mind, and soul. And at the end, for what? For nothing? For everyone? For all those members at the Church of the World Mission Society Church of God in Reseda, California, for all of them to turn their back? I mean, if my life was really in danger, don't you think you guys or they would have reached out to me? As soon as the pastor told them not to speak to me, ask me, did anyone reach out to me then? No, nobody. Even before, I was the one contacting them because I was confused and I didn't know what to do. But they never contacted me. That's the problem. If my life was really in danger, then why not really beg me to come back? Yeah, again, they really don't care about you, but all they care is about how much money they can get out of you before you realize the truth and before you willingly get out. All they care, again, once again, is about your money. And, of course, some of you may ask, well, why didn't you contact the pastor? I did contact the pastor. The pastor several times left him voicemails. He did not answer his phone. He did not get back to me. So, again, if this pastor who was designated by God to, to watch over us, if my life was really, really in danger, he would have reached out to me after seeing my calls or voicemails, but he didn't. Again, just goes to show that they really don't care about you, but as just again, like I'm saying, how much money they can get out of you before they, you realize that the church is a fake, just like most churches who claim to have the truth. And again, this is my testimony of what I experienced, and there's a lot more, but I do not want to keep this video longer than 15 minutes. If you guys have any questions, just comment down below on this video, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that I can. Again, newer members and older members, I hope this video helps in some way. And have a nice day, everyone.